Hello, hello, my lovelies. This is Nini, and you're watching my channel. So after the release day trailer, it got me thinking about all the games and all the DLCs and all the books and comics, everything that we've gotten from BioWare for the Dragon Age universe, and who I would like to personally see in the Veilguard, character-wise. And I'm talking about former companions, yeah, mostly former companions. So when I started narrowing down that list, which was quite long to begin with, I finally got down to my top 5 of who I want to see. Now, whether or not I can justify those will be completely up to you guys. Because I'm going to tell you who I want to see, why I want to see them, the questions I want answered. And then you guys can discuss it in the comments and tell me if I'm wrong, if I missed something, or if you think I should replace somebody on the list with somebody else. So, number 1 on my list, and this is an oldie but a goodie, is Sten from Dragon Age Origins. Why? Well, he's currently the Arishok of the Qunari, and the Qunari have already invaded northern Thedas again. Repeating history. They've managed to take 2 cities, at least 2 that I know of, and yeah, I want the Qunari to be part of the threat. And I want to know what kind of leader Sten is actually going to be. Because, think about it. In Origins, Sten's personality was cold, stoic, and very matter-of-fact. The man had no sense of humor. But, through your interactions with him as the Warden, you could move the needle a little. You could completely ignore him and let him just stay neutral, or as neutral as you could through narrative choices. You could be his best buddy by cheating with gifts because, yeah, he's that hard. Or you could be a complete rival and just despise him totally. And those 3 choices, as the Warden, I want to affect how Sten deals with us Southerners, us non-Qunari people. Because, think about it, if he's friendly to the Warden, best buddies, well, not actually best buddies, but you know what I mean, then it's more likely that he will be more somewhat, at least a little bit, sympathetic to the people that he's invading and overtaking. I'm not saying that he's going to be a saint, but it may affect how he interacts with human nobility, how his troops handle, the people he conquers. It could. It probably won't, but it could. And I want to see if it does. And honestly, I think that it would be really interesting to maybe add a little hint, maybe a codex here or there, that says that maybe the Warden and Sten, if they had a good relationship, may have kept in touch. Never know. It would be cool, absolutely be cool, to know that behind the scenes, even though we haven't seen the Warden, and we only got like 1 hint about our Warden in Inquisition via a war table mission, and comments if Morgan or Leliana was their romance option, we didn't really get much about the Warden. So I really, really want to see if there's some kind of, it would just be cool to have that little snippet of information going, hey, they're still friends decades later. Neat. Anyway, that's the reason why I want to see Sten. Plus, I also, just to make it an addendum here, I want the Qunari to be a problem. We already know that Veilguard's BBGs are Elgernon and Gillenan, or Gillenane, depending on how you pronounce it. So we know that we're going to be dealing with Elven Gods and a Double Blight and Darkspawn, but the Qunari were strangely absent from all the trailers and all the cinematics we got. They have to be part of the game, right? We're so close to Sahara and Parval, and they have to be involved. And we already know that they've already invaded. So I wonder if we're going to have to deal with them either politically or physically. But I want them involved. You put Kunari in Trespasser, they have to be in Veilguard. But those are my 2 cents. What do you guys think? So, number 2 on my list, absolutely positively has to be our little wolf, Fenris from DA2. Now, this should go without saying, I have a thing for elves, okay? So, yeah, Fenris is absolutely my favorite romance from Dragon Age 2. He's also one of my favorite companions because, hands down, no contest, his story is both heartbreaking and compelling. If you take the time to get to know him and don't just write him off as that broody elf that gets on my nerves and won't shut up about mages, you can't help but root for the guy. In the years since DA2, and even more so during the 10 years between Trespasser and Veilguard, fans have gotten an inkling on what Fenris has been up to. Thanks to the comics, Blue Wraith, we've learned about Fenris's tattoos, how he got them, what artifact created them, and so much more. This information is also why we know that Fenris is in Northern Thedas. He's in Tevinter. He's in the area. So he's got to be in the game. It makes no sense for Fenris to be set up to be in the area and then not show up. Now, what I want to see is in 2 camps, really. If Fenris has not been romanced by our hawk, I want to see him fighting the good fight, giving the Venatori what for, giving the slavers what for, and willing to help us in our fight against the 2 elven mages who are now currently wreaking havoc. Because it fits his character. He doesn't like mages. He doesn't like mages in power. So it makes sense that he would not like the elven gods trying to wreck everything. So yeah, and if you did romance Fenris during DA2, and you didn't leave Hawk in the Fade, which if you do that, that's very bad. Shame on you. How dare you do that? But if you didn't leave her in the Fade, or him in the Fade, then I want to know if the 2 of them are still brooding together. It's silly, I know. Romance is my thing. I'd love lots and lots of closure. Give us lots and lots of closure. Please, 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 please. And if they broke up, give me a reason why. It's fine. Either way is good, but I want to see Fenris. I absolutely, positively want to see our very broody elf kicking butt again and again and again. So yeah, absolutely. Number 3 on my list, and this is an absolute biggie. If he is not in this game, I will consider it a travesty of epic proportions. We are in Tevinter. Who else but the one and only Dorian Pavas? He has to be there. Okay, look. The devs have gone on record that they literally took one line of Dorian's dialogue in Inquisition and made it the cornerstone of the design for Tevinter as a whole. He absolutely has to be in Veilguard. Aside from the fact that Dorian is arguably one of the most popular characters in Inquisition, it's the fact that he is literally entangled in the hornet's nest that is Tevinter culture and politics. And for crying out loud, he's a magister in the magisterium now. So he has to be in the game. And I want lots and lots and lots of interactions with Dorian. I want him to tell me that him and my Inky are still talking to each other via message crystal, and that he is still romancing Bull for my playthrough. Absolutely. I want that. And I know it sounds like very superficial, but with Dorian's influence and the fact that he is trying to reform the magisterium, prior to when Inquisition or when Veilguard starts, it not including him sounds like a serious miscarriage of justice to me. And I am fairly about 98% positive that he will be there, because it makes no sense to set him up for it and then not give us the payoff. Personally, I think a lot of Dorian stands will freaking riot if he's not there. So let's hope BioWare doesn't do us dirty. And it'll be great to see his nice coiffed hair and mustache and let him crack jokes like he always does and be so much into himself, which is absolutely justified. Number 4 on my list. Okay, look, I'm going to level with you. This one has kind of already been confirmed. Not kind of, like seriously confirmed. It's Morrigan, okay? Morrigan is a fan favorite. She has been since Dragon Age Origins. She is everybody's little hot witch from the wilds that everybody just cannot seem to let go. Which, why should we let go? She's amazing. But thanks to the release date trailer, we have a confirmation that she is going to be there for Veilguard. Even after Claudia Black's lack of confirmation that she would be returning, a lot of us were super worried that we really wasn't going to get Morrigan. But we're going to get her. Yay, she's here. Throughout the entire franchise, we as players have been following her story. And while you could agree the end of Inquisition was a suitable climax for her story, for a lot of us it fell flat. She's so iconic that you want more of Morrigan. And depending on your choices throughout the game series, she's still really relevant to what's going on in Veilguard. Even more so if she, A, drank from the well, and B, had the old god baby. Because if Kieran had the god baby's soul, and Mythal takes the soul from him, at the end of the Inquisition game proper, in front of the Illuvian, when we find out that Solus is the Dread Wolf, we see Mythal, Mythal, put something into the Illuvian, a sliver, possibly of herself, before he arrives. And then when he arrives, they have their nice little conversation, and he takes her power. But thanks to that little sliver, he didn't take all of her power. Now, did he? Now, from the reveal trailer, we got a da-da-da moment when we saw her, because she is wearing Flemis/Mythal's crown. And if you saw my reaction, it's on my channel, I completely freaked out, because that is a major, major flash of narrative visually. Because it brings up a ton of questions about why she's wearing the headpiece that her quote-unquote mother used to wear all the time. Because, I mentioned this before, Flemeth says that a soul is not forced upon the unwilling. But her wearing that crown makes me really feel that something changed and she's now willing. Now, if that's true, what made her change her mind? If your Inquisitor drank from the well, then they have to come up with a different reason. But if Morrigan drank from the well, then we can safely say that she was compelled to. And she's not her true self. We never know. But that's why Morrigan is such an interesting character, and the reason why everybody are basically chomping at the bit to know what her role is going to be in Inquisition, in the Veilguard. Sorry, I stuttered there for a minute. And I kind of get the excitement, because I'm literally right there with them. I'm with you guys. Like, honestly, I'm with you guys. Because Morrigan is quintessentially one of the few human experts when it comes to elven lore and history and the gods. Okay? So, she may have insights. She may not. She might be completely stumped the second she goes, wait, they're real? But we don't know. So it's going to be super interesting to see her in the game and what we learn from her and what she's been up to, and learn if there's something else going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to yet. But yeah, absolutely, Morgan is definitely on the list. She's confirmed, but we still have lots of questions. Number 5, and the one that we all pretty much know that this character is going to be in the game because, well, the devs have already spoiled the fact that we get to create our Inquisitors in character creation. So yes, my number 5 is definitely the Inquisitor. My Inquisitor specifically, but the Inquisitor. And it has somewhat to do with narrative and somewhat to do with personal preference, because if you guys don't know, my go-to romance in Inquisition is soulless. Yeah, not a big surprise, right? Absolutely love tragedy romances, and I want closure, like real closure. Specifically, that's what I want for my Inquisitor. I want to get full closure for her romance. Now, you can argue that technically we got closure with the end of Trespasser, but no, he took my arm and left me stranded in the crossroads and just told me it was for my own good. Yo, no. Don't make that decision with me, dude. I want agency. I want to make a choice. And in my playthroughs, I chose that we were going to save him from himself. We can't really save him from himself if Inky doesn't get some kind of incorporation into Veilguard. Now, like I said, they have confirmed that the Inquisitor is going to be in the Veilguard, but at what capacity we don't know. We do know that we'll get to make him or her or them create him in character creator and all that good jazz, which is awesome, just like we had with Hawk in Inquisition. But I really hope that the devs and the writers gave us an option to kind of give us a happy ending. Now, I know that a lot of people argue that that cheapens the tragedy of being dumped on the eve of the biggest battle of our times. Trademark. But nah, I kind of want happy endings. I like it. Like, Cullen's romance was so sweet and endearing, and if you want to, you can marry him in Trespasser, which is fantastic if you want cishet stuff. I mean, great. But getting dumped and finding out that your boyfriend is an ancient noble god and he wants to destroy the world, and not being able to get him or to stop or to attempt to stop him, and maybe having some kind of closure with that romance, uh, it would feel like a huge letdown. Like a huge letdown. I can deal with the fact that it was tragic romance and he broke up with us. I can deal with that fact. But if we have the opportunity to fix it, let us fix it. Or at least get us more serious closure. My only request is that Solus and Inky need to live by the end of Veilguard. If Solus dies, we're gonna riot. And I know that sounds really simple, but this is the fangirl in me. I am absolutely a solo villain. And that's super what I want. Like, he's technically our villain, quote unquote villain, more like an antagonist than a villain because we've got our BBEGs. But he's a sympathetic villain, and if you get to know him, you understand why he wants to do what he does. And then now we know that tearing down the veil, his minimizing the damage was literally trying to move a Gillenon, or Gillenane, depending on how you pronounce it, and Elgranon to a different prison because theirs was failing. If he tore down the veil, they were going to get loose. Well, he didn't get a chance to do that because Rook intervened, and now they're loose. So, he didn't necessarily screw up. We did. Which is great. It's a good jump point to start a game. We gotta fix our mess. But I don't want to lose Solus at the end of the game. I mean, he can stay trapped in the Fade, and Inky can just go to the Fade and stay with him, and they can live happily ever after in the Fade, and that's fine. But we don't want to lose Solus. He's too much of an iconic antagonist, and I want my Inky to have a happy ending. But that's it. That's my top 5. That's the ones that I want and why. And I know a lot of it's shallow, some of it's lore based. I get it. It's completely opinion. And if you guys agree with me, please let me know. And if you disagree, absolutely let me know. Because I want to see what your top 5 characters are and why you want them in the game. I get that I'm kind of cheating with 2 that we've got confirmed, but I wanted to give my reasons. And I hope you guys can appreciate my opinion and how I felt about all this. And I guess we'll see what we'll see. Hopefully, BioWare will do the fans proud. And we will get a lot of what we've wanted, what we've wished for, and even some answers to our own tinfoil theory. But that's it for me. If you like what I do and want to see more videos about Dragon Age, D&D, games, whatever, you can subscribe, and preferably hit the like button, get all notifications turned on, and you can come hang out with me anytime you want. I stream on Twitch. My handle is at Nini Nuna, Ninoona, and I stream fairly regularly over there, currently playing Baldur's Gate, because I am a huge D&D fan. I've been playing for several decades, so it's good to have fun. So if you want to hang out with me there, just follow me over there. I'm on socials. You can find me pretty much everywhere. So, yeah, that's it. I hope everybody has a great day. And as always, may the Dreadwolf take you.